Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this massive video. We are going to really explore what a Firefly Fun House match could be. Now, I'm under the impression that it's going to be a no DQ, no count out match. It's obviously going to take place inside the Firefly Fun House. And I would imagine that it's going to be the old Firefly Fun House, the one that kind of started all of this. So I'm very, very excited for this. It's probably going to be very similar to what we saw with the House of Horrors match that Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton had all those years ago. So that kind of split people. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. I think that the fact that this is going to have a lot more symbolism, I think, is going to make this work a lot better. A lot of what we saw in that House of Horrors match didn't really seem to connect to anything. But I think this time, this is going to be dripping with very, very interesting items and items that actually mean things and matter to the story. So let's get straight into it, shall we? So I think that it would be really cool if we started with the music that we first heard when we saw Mercy the Buzzard. You might remember we saw Mercy popping out of that box. That was the very first thing we saw about a new Bray Wyatt or something along those lines. And that music, we've heard it quite a few times. We don't hear it all the time. But I think as Cena is approaching the Firefly Fun House, it'd be good if that music was kind of playing in the background. Chalmers, our good friend Chalmers, said that he would like to see the room where those Mercy and Abby vignettes were filmed. You kind of get the feeling that that room is inside the Funhouse. The dollhouse as well that featured, that's very interesting. There's obviously people in that dollhouse that are like praying. There's some kids that are like covered in tin foil. Again, could you imagine if those people were inside the Funhouse? What if they weren't people? What if they were like mannequins? Or what if the kids were real and the kids are standing there with like foil all over them? That would be a great callback to that dollhouse. Scales Yanks 24 says different rooms could show different aspects of Bray's history. So a room to do with the Wyatt family, a room to do with the Randy Orton feud. I kind of like that idea, but I'm not expecting any reference to Luke Harper or Matt Hardy, considering both are now in AEW. In episode 2 of the Firefly Funhouse, Bray painted a picture, so I'm imagining there's going to be quite a few of his paintings dotted around. I think the paintings are going to be very, very interesting, because rather than using photographs, it'd be really cool if those key moments from the past are kind of captured in paintings. He did say that he loves to paint, so that's something I'm definitely keeping an eye out for. I would also like some reference to the word of the day. Like, we know there's been word of the days, so it'd be really cool if they were recorded somewhere. And all of those words, of course, can be quite dark, quite menacing words. Maybe they're all just scrolled on a wall or something, just scribbled in. I think that would be really interesting. Robin813 says, how about the kids? You might remember we saw the kids, they were at a picnic. They've been, I say, playing limbo. They never look happy. So yeah, again, kind of going back to what we said about some kids being covered in tin foil. The kids that we've seen in the Funhouse episodes, just having them around looking miserable. Just kind of like watching John Cena. I think that would be really cool. The puppets, I think they will get involved. I think they're definitely going to feature. You can't have a Firefly Funhouse match without having the puppets. What I think is probably more interesting, who is controlling the puppets, because this could be the verge of a new faction. The puppeteers could be people like Bo Dallas, and we could now start to see the Kult of Windham. There's been no need for the puppeteers to kind of get involved up until this point, but now they could. So it could be that Bray Wyatt has not been on his own all this time. He's just not used the other people that are a part of the Fun House. But before we get to that and explore that further, I wanted to talk about what the puppets could do. So Ramblin' Rabbit, I think, will help Bray. We've seen him tonight actually helping Bray, giving him a carrot so that he can see Cena, because of course you can't see Cena. Yeah, he's giving him a carrot to try and help him out, but there's no way he helps the Fiend. He doesn't like the Fiend, he doesn't trust the Fiend. I think it's going to depend on what version or what persona Bray is as to whether he gets the help of Ramblin' Rabbit or not. Huskus just needs to be in the kitchen. They've just got to put Huskus in the kitchen. He's not going to be interested in what's going on. He's just going to want to eat. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. Abby, I would put her in the bedroom. She always talks about wanting to get a rest and getting peace and quiet. It'd be quite funny if they're fighting and she's in bed trying to sleep. And you've got John Cena and Bray Wyatt kind of fighting around her. I think Mercy will be up for a fight. Mercy seems to be always up for a fight. And it'd be great if Waylon Mercy could make a cameo appearance. Waylon Mercy was kind of a cult leader in the 90s in WWF. And he very much inspired Bray Wyatt. So it would be great if there was a cameo appearance from Waylon Mercy. It might explain as to where Waylon Mercy actually went to. LSW said that they would love to see different masks. Maybe we could get slightly different Fiends or multiple Fiends. Again, this goes back to that Kult of Windham idea. We know, we've seen these images that you can see on screen. We know that there are seemingly other masks or other characters or other personas that are on the way. The Kult of Windham was something that was on Instagram, but now it's been added to Bray's bio on Twitter as well. There's a lot of excitement around this because I think people would like a new Wyatt family, but the Kult of Windham instead. In episode 7, we got the Muscle Man dance, and we also got the Vince puppet. I would love the Vince puppet to be cheering on John Cena. I think that could be a lot of fun, obviously, given the fact that he's been heavily pushed by Vince throughout the years. Muscle Man dance means that we've got to get a gym, and I think it'd be great if they went into that gym. Cheyenne Foster said that it'd be cool if there was a basement that had like the heads of past opponents. I think people love that lantern. So maybe if there was something similar that had the heads of past opponents in. And maybe some of those heads we don't even recognise, which could be quite mysterious, and we could have a lot of fun with that. In episode 8, obviously the Hammer made an appearance. Ramblin' Rabbit's Bohemian Breakfast Spread made an appearance as well. I think both of those need to be referenced at some point. As does the toy box that we saw from a few months ago. So I think that should feature somewhere. Doesn't have to play a big part, but I just think that if it's featured in an episode, then it should be in this Firefly Fun House match somewhere. Episode 9, we saw glimpses of mental institutions. And this is like a really out there kind of a theory or idea. But what if, like, they fight in the Firefly Funhouse and then quickly you realise that was the only room? The rest of it was a mental institution. All this time, Bray has been living in a mental institution, an abandoned mental institution. Everything that's been filmed has been coming from this abandoned mental institution, and I kind of like that. I think I would rather they explored a proper house, though, so that we could have some of the imagery that we've already spoken about. But I do still think that would be a very fun idea. So, some final thoughts. Undeniable heel. Would like the rest of Bray Wyatt's body. Of course, we got the head that's now the lantern. But where's the rest of the body? That might be quite dark. I'm not sure if they would go that way. But then I never expected him to have a severed head as a lantern. So who knows? Maybe wallpaper as well that's got the whole world in his hands lyrics written onto it. A room just full of Randy Orton pictures, I think is excellent, because I think that really is a key feud. And the other thing as well, the number 39115, that was the number that was on the House of Horrors. And again, it's just a reference back to that. I think people are going to be watching this Firefly Fun House match, looking for those references, looking for those callbacks, hoping for some kind of a surprise. So I think that they should go in the way of putting lots of references in, and I think the surprise could be the Kult of Windham, which I think would be excellent and the perfect time to kind of bring Bo Dallas into this. Maybe Curtis Axel as well. I'm not too sure. Maybe Rowan returns. I don't think Rowan's current gimmick is quite working for him, but yeah, who knows? I'm not so sure that they would want to go that way. So much that we could talk about. I could keep going, but I don't want this video to go on forever. I wanted to keep it a reasonable length. But of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Would you fill it with imagery, or would you do the abandoned mental institution? I think there's obviously merits to both. Would you have the Kult of Windham, or would you just leave Bray on his own? Maybe you would just have like trickery. We know there's green screen studios that they could use. I don't mind them bringing in elements and things like that, but I really don't want it to go too supernatural, if you know what I mean. I feel like this is grounded in reality. I'm more interested to know who are the puppeteers and things like that. So yeah, let's see. I can't wait. I think it's absolutely brilliant and I'm really excited about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.